Today I will tell you about a genius from the Netherlands, a great man who has contributed so much to the rich history of world football. His name is Johan Cruyff. On March 24, 2016, the great man in the soccer world rested in peace in Barcelona. He will always be remembered in the land of Catalonia for his countless contribution to this place. From a player to a coach, an outstanding representative of the football revolution in the 1970s, entitled Total Football. Hendrik Johannes Cruyff was born on April 25, 1947, in Amsterdam, the capital of the Netherlands, and his father urged him to pursue a career in football. In 1959, his father died of a heart attack, and since then, Johan has promised himself that he must become a great player to fulfill his father's final wish. Johan Cruyff started his career at Ajax Amsterdam in 1971. On June 2, 71, he won the European Champion Clubs Cup with Ajax after defeating Panathinaikos 2-0 in London. That season, Saint Johan not only became the best Dutch player but also won the Ballon d'Or.
They did away with him. She didn't care at all. Just didn't care at all.
Here is a special bulletin. Ma Baker is the FBI's most wanted woman. Her photo is hanging on every post office wall. If you have any information about this woman...
In the season 71-72, Ajax proceeded to overcome Inter Milan 2-0, with both goals scored by himself, and the second European Champion Clubs Cup returned to the club's traditional home. In the final of the 72-73 season, he went on to beat another Italian club, Juventus, with a score of 1-0. At the age of 26, Johan Cruyff had 3 consecutive European Champion Clubs Cup, an unprecedented record in the history of football. This is also the golden age of Dutch football in the era of total football tactics. In 1973, Johan Cruyff moved to Barcelona and became the world's highest-priced player at that time with a transfer price of $2 million. Cruyff's presence immediately changed the history of Catalonia. In the first season, he helped Barca win the La Liga, and he won the Ballon d'Or that year. He is proving to be not just the best football genius in the world, but also an innovator for football with an extraordinary mind and a vision across time. In the El Clasico season 73-74 at Bernabeu, Cruyff and his teammates excelled to win 5-0. Barcelona almost entirely dominated Spain as they had no opponents. It was also the first La Liga since 1960 after 14 years. In 1978, Johan Cruyff went on to help Barca win the La Copa del Rey. In 1983, he left Spain to return to his country to play for Feyenoord, Ajax's rival. At the first encounter with the former club, Feyenoord suffered a disastrous 2-8 defeat. It was the highest score defeat in the history of the confrontation between these two clubs, but Cruyff did not fall. He remained confident and set a statement that goes into the history of Feyenoord Club Fine. We will still win the Eredivisie. After that match, Feyenoord hasn't lost a game in 5 months and they've scored a total of 96 goals. In the second leg facing Ajax, Saint Johan and his teammates won 4-1. Feyenoord was the champions of the Netherlands that year, the club's first championship in almost a decade, and the name Johan Cruyff is officially a legend. With Cruyff, whether playing in Ajax or Feyenoord, he has always provided endless inspiration both on the pitch and in the stands. helping every club that he played for gain huge success. That's how a great player succeeds. Understandably, Cruyff has always been considered one of the greatest legends of world football. Before Lionel Messi won 7 Ballon d'Or, including 4 in a row, Johan Cruyff was the first player to win 3 Ballon d'Or in just 4 years: 1971, 1973, and 1974. Pelé was called the king of football, Maradona was the golden boy, and Johan Cruyff, UEFA called him the idol of the football world, and humankind called him Saint Johan. After everything he has won in his career, Johan Cruyff deserves to be awarded the highest titles by the football world. His stature has gone over the world, on par with the famous artist that is the endless pride of the Dutch people. What he brought was not only perfection, but also beautiful football philosophies. At the national team, any match that he scored, the Netherlands did not lose that match. Cruyff first played for his country in the Euro 1968 qualifying round. Johan Cruyff became one of the best and greatest players in the Netherlands football history, leading the Netherlands to runner-up in the 1974 World Cup and was voted the best player in the tournament. Thanks to the total football, the Netherlands beat Argentina 4-0, East Germany 2-0, and Brazil 2-0. However, Johan's excellent performance was not enough to help Clockwork Orange defeat West Germany in the final match. He left the national team in 1977 after 48 matches with 33 goals. After retiring as a player, he started to become a coach. Johan Cruyff led Ajax to win the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup in 1987 before they dominated Dutch football absolutely with 2 consecutive championships in the seasons 85-86 and 86-87. He has been building a total football tactics system since he was a player. Then he applied it to his coach's career. Even after Ajax won the Champions Leagues in 1995, it was appreciated for the legacy Johan Cruyff left in Ajax's tactical operation that year. His career as a coach was the same as when he was a player. After he left Ajax, his next destination was Barca. And every time Barca had Johan Cruyff as a player or as a coach, they suddenly became incredible. At Barca, Cruyff successfully builds a squad with legendary names such as Pep Guardiola, Jose Mari Baquero, Vigouristin, Goicoechea, Ronald Koeman, Michael Laudrup, Romario, Georg Hagi, Stoichkov, and Salinas. To form a dream team during the 5 years from 89 to 94, he led the club to 4 European Cup finals, 2 UEFA Cup Winners' Cups, and 2 Champions League finals. The legacy he left was not only in a Champions League Cup, 4 consecutive La Liga, a UEFA Cup winner, a La Copa del Rey, and 4 Spanish Super Cups, but much more. It's a system called tiki-taka, a tactic that has fascinated millions of hearts around the world for generations. And then the great success of Pep Guardiola and Luis Enrique was just that they inherited and developed that system. Johan Cruyff is by far the longest-serving manager in Barcelona's history. He officially retired in 2013 because of health issues. Johan Cruyff is the legend of the first things. The maxim that a good footballer is unlikely to be a good coach is probably not true in his case. What few people know is that Johan helped La Masia to be as famous as today. Obviously, Barca's young academy had existed before Johan Cruyff became Barca's head coach, but none other than the Dutch manager changed a whole football mindset for one of the most famous football academies with young players who are not physically strong but very intelligent and technically excellent. It was Saint Johan who changed all the guidelines of La Masia Academy from selecting players based on ability and technique instead of previous physical fitness and fitness. This criterion is maintained by La Masia until today and perhaps forever. After a long period of facing lung cancer as he smoked too much tobacco when he was young, the football world said lost the great Dutchman on March 24, 2016. Johan Cruyff took his last breath at the age of 68. Anyone who plays football from an amateur to a professional player at least once in their life has used the trick in which a player with the ball moves past another player by pushing the ball across and behind their own leg and then turning and moving in the direction of the ball. This technique was used a lot, but not many people noticed that it was Johan Cruyff himself who devised in a moment the sensibility and innate talent of a genius. That was the moment Johan Cruyff took the ball over defender Jan Olsen in the match between the Netherlands and Sweden at the 1974 World Cup. This technique was officially included in a training textbook called Cruyff's Turn. It's been almost 7 years since he came back to God, but the legacies, the beautiful football that generations of lucky people have enjoyed will always live on with the anecdotes of a genius named Johan Cruyff. It's hard to find a reason to hate Johan, and if anyone hates him, they are just jealous of his greatness and genius.